I wrote the book, The Pigment of Your Imagination, to basically explore race relations in 4 different countries and then juxtapose it against what's happening in terms of race here in the United States. In essence, I wanted to see what would it be like to be me, but in different countries. Would I have the exact same opportunities? Would there be things that would be shut off for me? You know, and more importantly, how would people see me? I grew up in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, and I grew up in a Quaker community with 1 black parent and 1 white parent. My mother is from Kenya, and my father, I often say, is a white boy from the Midwest. One story about racism that occurred actually when I was very, very young, well, actually happened on the day of my birth. My mother and father went into the hospital, and the nurse there said, well, what race do we write down? And my mother said, human race. But the nurse, you know, thinking that I might have sickle cell, checked that I was black. 18 months later, my brother was born, went to the same hospital, different nurse, and this time they just marked my brother was white. So here we are, again, 2 people who look very, very similar, have the exact same parents, yet on my birthing document it says that I'm black, on his it says that he's white. Now in this day and age that didn't mean all that much, but imagine if we were born in a different time, either in this country or born in South Africa at a different time, or, you know, there's a lot of places where that would actually have a real impact on what happened in our lives. But the fact that, you know, an institution like a hospital can't get race right made me realize, of course, that, you know, we as a society aren't really getting race right. I got started thinking about this book in part because I had gone to Kenya. And I'd gone to Kenya with my best friend who looks just like me, but who is black using our definition here in America. She has 2 black parents, but she's very light-skinned. And we get to Kenya, and we're hanging out with my cousins, and you know, somebody says, oh, you know, are you guys twins? And we said, no, you know, we just kind of look alike. And my other cousin says, oh, you know, we just think all white people look alike. And, you know, my best friend and I look at each other and we're like, white? What is he talking about? So we go and grab an Essence magazine because we had one that we had brought, and we started flipping through because it's an African-American magazine. We wanted to see, you know, who did they consider black and who they consider white. And as we flipped, they were just like white, white, white. Oh, wait, she's black. You know, if there's somebody in there who was darker, you know, then they would say that's actually a black person. But interestingly, most of the people who featured in Essence magazine were considered white by my cousin's standards in Kenya. So I thought that was amazing that I'm considered black in America, but I'm considered white in Kenya. And what I wanted to do was really tease that out and see what that means. You know, sort of, what does whiteness mean in Kenya? Is it just a title? Does it come with the entitlement? You know, what does it mean to be black in various places? And as somebody who sort of straddles the race line, you know, where do I fall? One of the things that was actually, I think, really unexpected when I traveled around for the book was that, that I was considered a totally different race everywhere I went. So I left America where I was black. I went to Great Britain where I was mixed race or half caste or, you know, some other name, but something that had to do with being sort of interracial. Left there, went to Kenya where I ended up being white yet again most of the time. And then I went to Zimbabwe and basically South Africa. And there, certainly not black, certainly not white, you're colored and nothing but colored. And to be colored was to be sort of on the bottom of the social structure. My father came to visit me for a while, and so for a short period of time, people thought I was his mistress, which in and of itself is very disturbing. But the way in which he was treated and I was treated for being with him was completely different than the way I was treated when I was seen as just colored. Leave Zimbabwe, go to Jamaica. I'm brown and I'm at the top of the social structure. You don't want to be white, you don't want to be black, you want to be brown. That's what all, you know, that's what you see on TV, that's what the big beauty, you know, queens are, etc. So for me, it was just amazing to change race merely by changing geographical location. I kind of assumed that the book would have interracial families really excited to talk to me about their lives and what's happened to them, and kumbaya moments with, you know, multiculti people. That's not what happens at all. Instead, I give book talks, and elderly white women want to talk to me. They want to come up, they want to have really deep racial confessions, in essence. I have older white women telling me about how they love black men, or they're scared of black men, or they gave up their, you know, mixed race child. It's not really interracial families that are interested in having these dialogues. It's, I think, society as a whole. With the book, I hope to accomplish the smallest little goal, and that is honest dialogue around race.